Architect Vaibhavi Agrawal holds an undergraduate and postgraduate degree in architecture as well as architecture education, respectively, from SMMCA Nagpur. A growing interest in nature and a strong inclination towards understanding ecology and ecosystems drove her to pursue a postgraduate diploma in natural resource conservation and management from the Ecological Society. I tell you, all these Ecological Society graduates in Pune are really making a ruckus in the mainstream construction industry. Along with her active professional practice, she is a visiting faculty at the Brick School of Architecture in Pune. She emphasizes hands-on work with materials and deeper exploration into processes and techniques. This is linked to an idea of an efficient and ethical approach towards design. You also see her website here. Welcome, Vaibhavi, and over to you. You can share your screen now. Vaibhavi, you need to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you, Manisha. The project which I'm going to share right now, this is our first project where actually we are using the mud, or we are also this is our first time when we are actually using mud in our project. We mostly do experimental projects like whatever is available near the site, or more if the more focus on whatever we can actually reuse and recycle. So we use with different material. Yes, there is one material which we mostly use is like bamboo. So in for this particular project, when we actually went to the site, we got to know, when we were talking about the material, what we can use, because we got this project for using bamboo, but what with bamboo. And luckily, when we were there on site, we got to know that there is a Vada has been actually demolished, and we can procure the mud from there, and we can use that mud again for building this project. And that is how we have procured the mud from the Vada. And after procuring the mud from the Vada, we actually, the same time, we got to know that Manisha is running a campaign where they would like to actually use they are ready to give those clay for the experimentation to people who would like to use that in their project. I grabbed that opportunity. I got some mud from her office, and some she had sent on the site. And where you can see actually when we got the soil on the site, we actually had a lot of it was a mix of lot of POP, plaster of Paris. And this soil was also a lot of mix of different color. I think it is from different places. So it was not as pure as the soil which I got it from her office. So mostly the experiment has happened from the soil which we got it from the office, which was pure. And because this was our first experimentation with the Adobe brick, we also tried initially making the bricks by though it was a proven clay. It was already there in the Vada and stayed for 100 years. The clay didn't require any kind of addition, and it was from the same place. So it has withstand this atmosphere of the place. But still as a curious person, you would like to add something and see how it is happening. And we added husk to see if we can make it lighter, or we can make a better binding material. And somehow when we were adding rice husk to the building bricks, our bricks were becoming very brittle and it was breaking. And that was the time we decided to add I'm sorry. So that was the time we thought of making bricks only by adding nothing. So there is a brick where we add nothing and just made the plain brick of the clay which we have got it from the Vada. We have added some sand. We have added here you can see that we have made one brick which was completely with the Shaadu Maati. one brick which was like, completely with this soil which we have. Then we have added like, 50% of Shaadu Maati, 50% of like, the clay which we have from the site. And then we wanted to see what was the result. So almost like, our plain brick was doing good with little cracks in it. One more thing which I forgot to mention, that when we actually tested the soil, we got to know the clay percent in our soil was like, hardly around 8%. But it has like, what was making it like clay when we were like, adding water in it was the 11% of lime. So that was making this particular soil quite unique for us. And we actually saw when we were making like, some like, around like 20% of Shaadu Maati, around like, 80% of our own, like, the clay, which we have got it from the Vada. That was a brick like, which has a minimum like, surface crack. And that was also taking little lesser time in drying. Our own clay dried very, very fast. And sometimes we were seeing like, cracks in that because of that reason. And that then we did, we were technically not strong. So we were all doing like, a lot of things by asking friends who are into this particular practice from law. And plus we were doing a lot of like, intuitional testing at site, which you can see here, where like our artisan who were making bricks, they stood on the brick, or they try to like, throw bricks and see whether they are like, whether the brick is good for construction. Apart from that, like the second thing which we are right now, like, experimenting is, because we work in bamboo, and we are actually looking for more covering material to bamboo. And so we have like actually experimented with the clothcrete, bambcrete. We also did like bamboo fiber, cement concrete. But mostly like, as we know, like when you use cement, you feel bad. So right now what we are trying on this panel is, so still it's not successful. We are in the process of making this. So this is right now the panel which you see here. We have not added anything. It's again the plain soil from our site of the soil of the Vada. Now, like, we are like thinking of adding little more lime to it, and more like, if the Shaadu Maati makes it like, little more clay. And we want to see like, how the result happens. So we are just in the process. We don't know like, how it's going to behave. And this is what is like, the panel where like, we will be experimenting this. So yeah, thank you so much. This is where we are right now with mud.
Wonderful, Vaibhavi. Thank you. It's really exciting to see, the variety of different experiments that has happened. When I first sent the clay out to all of you, I had no clue what you would do with it. So it's really interesting to see, combining it with a material like bamboo. So Yogananda ji, Dhruvang, Anujna, any comments from your side or any ideas or feedback for Vaibhavi would be great. Also, I am so honored and so happy to share with all of you that Professor Anil Gupta is here. You may know of him. Anil ji is based in Ahmedabad, and anything to do with grassroots innovation, he is really the man. He has created the Honeybee Network. Vaibhavi, you can stop sharing your screen if you like. I just want to see. Anil ji, aap अपना वीडियो शुरू करें. Yogananda ji, I'm not sure if you have met. Namaste, Anil ji.
Namaskar.
So Honeybee Network and Sri, आप बताएं उनके, and we would love to hear your feedback. Yogananda ji was just talking about whether we can generate livelihoods from attempts like this to recycle materials like clay. So we'd love to hear from you also, Anil ji.
First of all, recently we had an innovator with us. I can show you the work of his, just one slide, if that's possible. You might all like it. And this is the one. So this person, Shashank Nimkar,
Yes,
has
sir. He was here. It was the first presentation here.
Oh, you wonderful. How nice. So he's my favorite. Though I didn't get him the award that he deserved because other people were involved in that decision, but I liked it very much because the waste of ceramic is a serious problem, as you know. And he has somehow found a way of making 100% recyclable product out of recycled ceramic. So I think the question that the earlier presenter made, that whatever we do should not end up being non-recyclable. That's a wonderful value system. Second, that ceramic is a signature of time, so it doesn't degrade at all, remains for 5,000 years. We recognize some part history through archaeological discovery of ceramics of that time. So any way we can use this waste, which is huge in Morbi and many other areas of Gujarat and elsewhere in the country, it would be a boon for environment and for people who can use it and in it. Now, I don't know, Shashank might have told you that his product cost is quite high at the moment, but he's trying to see how to make it less so that it becomes affordable for common people. So I would think that this is one challenge that we need to address, how to help local pottery or local potters, kumars, to develop new age products by combining clay with ceramic waste. That would be wonderful. It will give a new livelihood means to them to make, and then we can also generate low temperature furnaces or low temperature glazing system for them to make these ceramics shine if possible. The second problem I want to share with you is during our Shodhyatra in Anantnag, Kashmir, during 2007, one boy, Farid, asked a question. He said, in Kashmir, we have very shortage of clay. And when buildings are demolished, the concrete is attached to the brick. Is there a way to remove the concrete from the brick so that we can reuse the bricks? I haven't found an answer till date. 2007, he raised this question, and I still feel lost that I could not give a satisfactory answer to him till date. But if any one of you has an answer, that will solve a huge, big problem. Professor was mentioning just now that even if lime is attached or cement is attached, it can be used. But then cost of powdering that is very high. Energy required to powder the waste of demolished building apparently is very high. So can we have low energy system, low energy technology by which concrete can be removed from the old bricks and brick parts can be used again? Professor Yogananda was saying that one could do that. So I would be very grateful for that. Third is today we were at Vastu Shilp and talking to Kusnu and Sonke, who are designing our campus, Gyan's campus, Doshiji's daughter and son-in-law. And there she made a very interesting point. She said, whether mitti cool or otherwise, the security guard who will be staying outside your building, the enclosure for the security guard should be cool and of clay if possible. I was hearing Dr. Yogananda, and I agree with him that I was born in a clay mud house in my village. So we have lived in those houses for centuries. And you are right that if there was in Mali, you have double-story buildings of clay. I have been there in Mali, and I can tell you that those are beautiful structures, all of clay. So I think we have not exploited the potential of mixing clay with the used materials powder, I think. So I will be very happy to hear a little bit more about that. Can we rejuvenate can we make the housing of the security guards and other people cooler and more sustainable, because we make small enclosures for them without much ventilation sometimes, and they are hot. You use molded plastic material and all that, it becomes hot in the daytime. They can't sit there, and sometimes they have shade, sometimes they don't have a shade. So I think people who provide us services, how can we make their condition better, even in cities for that matter. Every city, every building, every residential house building has a security guard, and their enclosures are not very nice. So how to make clay which breathes, possible for cooling. Mansukh Bhai Prajapati makes double-walled structure, as you know, with water in between. But double-walled structure by themselves are cooler. So how to bring the double-walled structure into the clay design so that cooling is maintained by the natural process rather than doing anything else. So there are many questions of this kind, and I will be happy to learn a little more about that. Thank you so much.
So glad that you're here, Anilji. Coming back to Vaibhavi, Yogananda ji and others, do you have any comments for her? And then can we go on to discussing the points that Anilji brought up, some very valid points.
Why she's using cement? I mean, why can't she mix more clay rather than 8%? She could increase the proportion of clay, and then her problem of cracks will go down and the material will stay better. I don't know. I was intrigued by that. Such a low proportion of clay, I didn't understand.
Yogananda ji.
Yeah. See, most of the questions have answers if we understand the problem. That is how we have been working. And we have been able to address most of these kind of questions because it also depends on the expectations from the user side. So we will have to match. There is no general solution for everybody. So we try to interact, get to know them, whoever is going to construct, what kind of expectations they have, and then give them the right kind of solutions which are possible with maintenance. There is nothing. In fact, if you look at most of the waterproofing contractors and waterproofing all chemicals available, where are they getting their livelihood? It is only because of reinforced concrete. Okay, reinforced concrete demands so much of maintenance, and masonry structures, it's not that difficult to maintain, but one has to understand this. We need to help them understand also and revive load-bearing masonry, whether it is stabilized or unstabilized, both are possible, but the expectations is something which we need to probably understand. And recycling is definitely possible. In fact, some of the buildings where we have recycled completely into a new building, it is all manual. We have not used any kind of tools. So there is a kind of an employment generation also happening. We did it in a village. It was a doctor's residence built about 25 years back. It had problems. They wanted to build one more. So the building was demolished and we recycled back into the new building without using any modern tools. So there is a possibility. It is not that it is not possible. We can generate local employment also. It is question of going about it as a team, whoever is involved, and trying to share information and see what best suits given the situation. So all the techniques, they have a place wherever what suits one has to pick and choose.
So specifically on the use of bamboo along with clay, do you have any comments for Vaibhavi?
See, Wattle Daub structures, that's where I think all earthquake-prone areas, if you go around, most of them have Wattle Daub. So they are more earthquake resistant. So that is something one can definitely try to, it's always Punaravartan, you know, there are examples. In fact, if we travel around, there are examples. We need to learn from that and then adopt it with the local skills. That's why I say we have to understand the problem, solutions will emerge from that.
Absolutely. Dhuvang, Priyanka, and all the other architects, do you have any comments or questions for Vaibhavi? Vaibhavi, you can leave your video on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess
Okay.
any kind of suggestions are also welcome, like, because for mud, we are just started experimenting.
Okay, so if nothing is coming up immediately, in any case, the group is going to stay connected. And like Dhruvang said, there is still a long road ahead, and we are hoping to continue to have your guidance, Yogananda ji, and also Anil ji. I mean, the points that you brought up in terms of application, whether there's security guard houses or so many other things, definitely creating livelihood and creating localized closed loop chains. These will be our efforts. It is already 6:30, and I'm happy to say that we still have 21 people with us, which is absolutely wonderful. There are a few other architects here like Satyendra and also Rohan who could not join us, but who have been, Satyendra has actually received the clay, so I'm hoping that we can hear from him of what he has done. I also want to mention, I'm sorry that we don't have images, but Aarti Kirloskar, who's been here with us, she also received some clay and she has been trying out at her farmhouse. She will be working with Sandeep Bhai Veermani on this. He could not come today, but they will also continue their experimentations with plaster as well as wattle and daub. So I think what, in terms of next steps, ideas that you have, we can just discuss briefly. I will also try and collate everything together and then send it out to all of the architects so that we still have another not 6 months, but we have several months before Ganesh festival comes. So I think let's not give up on these trials and these experiments. And then if during the Ganesh festival, again, this time we are hoping that the Pune Municipal Corporation will do a lot better. We are hoping to give them a target of at least 25 tons just from public emulsions. And so I have no place to keep all that, that clay. So it will be definitely coming to you. Let's keep working towards that. And Anilji and others from other cities, we would love your help in also launching Punaravartan in your cities. I will reach out to you separately for that. Our trial is that we at least take it to 20 to 25 cities this year. So with that, I think maybe it's time to wrap up here. Thank you to all of you once again.
All the best. Sorry I missed, but
Yeah,
wonderful.
thank you so much, Manisha.
Bye-bye.
We will be putting up this recording.
And thank you actually everyone. It was really good insight for us.
Great. We've recorded the whole session. We will edit it slightly and then put it up on YouTube. So for those of you who'd like to return to it, because I think a lot was discussed, that will be possible. And you can also please share it with others in your network. So with that, namaste everyone, and thank you so much, and we'll stay connected.
Yeah, thank you.